Hi everyone, welcome. Happy Stream Queen Con. I almost said something else. I don't know what I was going to try to say. I hope everyone's having a blast. I'm in for prayers, and I will be moderating this panel, Women in the Drag Scene. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Look at all these beautiful people here. Hi. So I will be introducing myself. I'm in for prayers. An e-girl drag queen on Twitch here. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me at Twitch and all the other socials. Barky, let's hear from you.
Hi, I'm Tubarky Bark. I'm a Vape Lady drag queen. I play lots of cute games and spooky games. Here on Twitch, you can find me at Tubarky Bark most places. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Red Ivy, let's hear from you, love.
Hi, I'm Red Ivy. I'm just a League of Legends streamer. I want to say variety. I'm like, I don't play anything else other than League of Legends. I'm just a variety streamer over here on TV. Yeah. I also do drag. Well, I haven't done drag in a while. This is actually the first time I've done drag in like 4 months because I have been, drag and me have not been on good terms lately. So let's just.
Well, thank you for sharing, Tharona.
Hello, my name is Throna Shade. I'm a bit of a variety streamer. I enjoy playing League. I'm very competitive in all of my gaming, typically. And yeah.
Thank you, Tharona. Jenny.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. I am known as Jenny Raider on Twitch. I am not a streamer. I am a gamer though, and I do moderate a lot of chats. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Jenniphora, and my pronouns are she, her.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited to be a part of this panel and have some amazing drag artists here. So what we're going to be talking today is the good and the ugly of being a drag queen, being a woman that is in this scene. So Barky, let's hear from you. How long have you been doing drag, your drag scene? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I might be the baby drag queen of this panel. I've only been doing drag officially for a year, a little over a year now. And I'm exclusively drag on Twitch. So that's kind of my side of drag, is all online, which I know is very different from being out in the real world. So I think it'll be interesting to hear more about that from other people. But yeah, I've been doing drag for a year. Twitch has been an amazing place to do drag, I feel like. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to hear your perspective. Because like for me, I've worked in the club scene. I know Jenny has. We'll get into all that, but it's going to be very interesting to hear your side of things being a newer drag artist, especially like being in a pandemic, versus like some of us who have been doing it a little bit longer. Red Ivy, let's hear your story, my love.
So I've been doing drag for probably like 6 years maybe, like on and off for like 6 years. I solely really only do it for Twitch. I performed like in person. I hated it. It was horrible. Like I still like thinking about it now. I'm like I cringe because of just like I do not like, even though which is kind of interesting because like I was like a theater nerd in high school, and I was like I love being on the stage. But then when I did drag and I performed like I lip sync, it was too much. I honestly hated it. So I really like I only do drag here in Twitch.
That's a really interesting perspective. I actually kind of want to know a little bit more about that as well, especially since you did theater and you're like, I loved theater and I love performing on stage, but I actually don't like lip singing. Is it just like the lip singing itself, or is it like it's a lot of pressure? I know to be performing on stage, especially in like kind of more the competitive scene with drag. But I don't know if that was how you feel. So I'm kind of curious about that a little bit more, if you don't mind answering that.
Well, I think it was mainly because it was just me up there by myself. Like I didn't like because when I was in theater, I would obviously have like the rest of the cast and like I had like support up there with me, like performing with me. But then when I'm just up there by myself, just like lip syncing, I'm just like, if I fuck up, I have no like it's all on me. I can't like fall back on like other people. I'm just like,
it's a one woman show.
Yeah, it's a one woman show, but I can't do one woman show. That's not my
Yeah, because with theater too, like if you end up like messing up or something, you kind of have someone to like improv and like remedy the situation, or just kind of like, but if you mess up, you're like, I'm solo here. By myself. So that's very interesting. Yeah, that's interesting that you didn't like that. Thank you for sharing. Therona, let's hear about your side.
Hi. So I've been doing drag, I think I'm pushing 6 years now. Can't remember the exact year that I started. And I did in bar performances. I've done tea time performances. I've done shows in front of like 300 people in like stadium-esque type of setting. So it's been interesting. Quite a lot of different little experiences. I have a drag brunch coming up on the 12th, so it should be nice. I tried live streaming some of my drag shows on Twitch. And it would have been about 2 years ago that I remember thinking like, oh, like Twitch seems like a fun concept. I never used to look at Twitch or watch Twitch or whatever. And I was like, why don't I do drag on Twitch? I'll be like the first one to ever do it. And then I discovered Deer. And then I was like, okay,
Deer's
well,
taking it from us. That's cute. I love that you're still performing, and especially like having a panini happen. Did you start?
It's horrible. I hate it.
Yeah. So
we have to wear these like big ass face masks that cover our face, and it's terrible if we want to go and collect our tips and whatever. So
yeah, that sounds horrible. And different. Yeah. Jenny, I am very excited to hear about yours. I know you have a lot to talk about, and I'm super excited.
Maybe so. I've been working in the drag scene. I was doing the math earlier. I think it's been 4 years now, which is how long it took me to get my college degree. So that feels like a little weird, if I'm honest. I have a degree in drag. Thank you so much. I do not do drag, but I have been stage managing and assisting drag queens for 4 years. I went to my first drag show when I was 19, and it was a Sasha Colby show, and now I'm her assistant. So that's insane. I started working drag queen bingo at Hamburger Mary's West Hollywood as my first like official thing. And now I stage manage Bitchin' every second Friday of the month. And I also help with Heavenly Bodies, which is at the chapel at the Abbey in West Hollywood every second Sunday of the month. So I'm booked and blessed. Love it. Kind of want to go to bed all the time, always. But I have a job, so I don't. And I'm very lucky. But yeah, I've been working in drag for 4 years now, but I don't do it myself.
But that being said, though, it is very important to have people like you that do help that, because running a drag show, as you know, takes a lot of work. And we all know drag artists are not timely. I was late to this to begin with. So that's like a whole thing. So trying to organize show after show.
On time? Never heard of her.
Never heard of her. Doesn't exist. So you does
not exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. So that can be very, very challenging. And I think some people don't realize how hard it is to actually organize these events, especially multiple of them, because you're doing several a month and you're multiple people's assistants. You've been doing this for a long time. So you've seen a lot of things, and we're going to be touching base on that as well.
Yeah.
So very excited about that. It's very important to have people help with these shows. Like I've mentioned before, there is a lot of work that goes into these shows, a lot of passion, some drama too, some tea. But anyway, but yeah, let me talk about my drag. I've been doing drag for almost 6 years. I always wanted to do drag, I don't know, since I was a teenager. I wasn't even sure that's what it would be. I just wanted to be like a different person or entity or creature or doll. I never liked makeup. I never was into makeup. My mom came to visit me in June and was like, it's so weird seeing you wear makeup because you were never a makeup kid. You never touched makeup. You never touched nail polish, nothing. And here you are having like a full makeup set. It's a little weird. So she's got to see me in drag recently and was kind of cool. But I always wanted to do drag, but I loved the makeup. I didn't like regular makeup. I wanted that extreme whatever. So, but I started doing drag because someone told me that I could do it when I was told I couldn't before. So like, you can do drag. Women can do drag. So I've been doing it for 6 years. I performed in bars probably for about 2.5 years on and off. It wasn't very consistent. It's very hard for women in my local area to get booked. I think a lot of women experience this as well. We're going to be talking about that. So that's why I have not pursued a lot of stage performing anymore because it's been very hard. And that's what I like about Twitch. I can be in makeup for 4 or 5 hours plus, and it's all about me versus performing on stage and getting one song. Let's talk about our experience in the drag scene. I know I kind of touched base. Barky, I would love to hear from you from being a newer drag artist. What has been your experience? The good, the ugly, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just be 100% honest. I've had a very good experience being a woman in the Twitch drag scene. It has been very smooth for me. No one has ever come into my chat and said, you can't do drag, women can't do drag. They've never heard of it before. People have said, wait, women can do drag, question mark. That has happened, but no one's ever been aggressive towards me. I feel very lucky. I think it's because my community is still kind of small too. Like I'm not, getting massive hordes of trolls or anything like that. Yeah, I just feel very lucky I feel like I've got off scot-free or something. I don't know. But it's been really, really lovely starting drag online as a woman. And I feel like it says a lot about how internet communities are formed. Like the Twitch drag community was started by a lot of really beautiful progressive people like Deer and Trashly and all these people. So I think they just kind of, them being who they are, have inspired the entire drag community to be open and accepting as well, Yeah, it's that's pretty much mine.
That's awesome. And I'm really glad that you've had that experience. I've had very different, but we don't have to talk about that at the second. So I think that's really amazing that you've been able to have that because that's how it should be. Drag, you shouldn't have to experience these hurdles of being not a cisgendered man and not being recognized. Like, it is beautiful that you have been able to be seen and supported in that because a lot of people can't say the same. So it's really amazing. And that's so helpful for a lot of us too, to know that like the way is being paid for us and we are making this, and it's so beautiful that you've been able to have that happen. Red Ivy, what has been your experience?
So I'm gonna say like for the most part, well yeah, for like my drag experience has been like, it's been good. Especially I think it's mainly because when I first started doing drag 6 years ago, I hadn't come out yet as transgender. So when I got into the scene, they just like everyone probably just thought I was just just like a cisgendered gay man, even though that's not really what I was. I just hadn't come out yet because I just wasn't, at the time I just wasn't ready to do that yet. So like I guess it was just like because they probably just like saw there's another gay drag queen out there. So like I never had like a really I only recently came out and like to like even like Twitch and like my drag community that was trans just the past couple years. Maybe it's been like 2 years. So for like the majority of my time doing drag especially here on Twitch, I just like nobody even knew I even identified as a trans woman. So it's been good. And since coming out as trans, it's like things haven't changed for me. Like everyone still shows me the same love that they did before I came out as trans. So.
That's really amazing. I'm really glad that you've had such a good experience, especially before coming out and then coming out afterwards. I'm really glad about that. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Therona, how has been your experience?
It's interesting. Okay, so I was actually encouraged to talk about how I felt even leading up to this panel. I've been talking with like other team members and such, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have this weird imposter syndrome talking about being and obviously it's going to discredit my identity a little bit, but I do feel pretty privileged to a degree being a trans woman, because I mean when I do drag and when I have done drag, because I've done maybe 2 shows this year in person, like with the COVID and everything, and it's the same. Like people probably just see me and say, oh, that's a man in drag. Like that's probably how they view me, and they wouldn't know unless I actually went up to them and told them like, oh, like no, that's not correct, right? So I feel privileged in that sense, which kind of sucks, I guess. There's also other things like, so I've been on Stream Queens for 2 years. And so obviously before my transition started September last year. My identity crisis much longer than that. But when I came out as trans, I immediately pigeonholed myself into this weird thing of like, well, I probably don't belong on this team now because like I don't do drag as often, or like there's people out there, and especially from the media. Obviously, media alone, like obviously we're going to talk. RuPaul's Drag Race puts a precedence on trans women not being able to compete, not this and that, and how they're always been hushed down and stuff like that. So I guess I had a preconceived notion that that's what was going to happen to me in Stream Queens or whatever. Like obviously that's not what happened, but like I like put that upon myself in a way of like, okay, I'm just gonna like back out a little bit and just kind of like hopefully I stay on the team.
I'm sorry that you felt that way, because I know like it doesn't seem like how you communicate. No one made you feel that way. It's just kind of that way.
Yeah,
Like that's
it's
how
just
you
like,
felt.
yeah, no, I've never had any team members be like, oh, like you're trans. Like, no, it's just literally just like perceptions from social media, TV, internet, and stuff like that. And people like Sonique winning Drag Race, I think. Sorry for spoilers. Was the first trans person to win. That's a big step, right?
Huge,
That,
huge.
I found comfort in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna say too, social media makes us seem like as women that we can't be this way or that, or you know, since you're coming out, that drag is for cisgendered men. When cisgendered men didn't even create drag. First of all, if y'all don't know that, look it up. It's true. We need to have that conversation. So, I think especially like when we have redacted race, not having that dialogue of like people can. I hope you're okay. Not
I was
having,
laughing.
not having. I know Jenny has got some things to say. I can feel it. I can feel it. Oh, pushing that dialogue that only cisgendered men can do that, and people that have one drag race that have come out afterwards, like, and they were on the show, and there's been this like dialogue push that they can't have these body alterating you know, I can't say the word now. I just overthought it and I can't say, you know, body changing surgeries or enhancements. They won't have you on there. So it's easy for us, I think, to internalize that going, I can't be this. Anyway, thank you for sharing that, Throna. Jenny.
I will say that my experience is not like a spectrum. It's either one or the other. I've had some of the most like fulfilling, fun, exciting, loving opportunities of my life, like working for drag shows. Like I love drag. I'm very famous for saying in the Twitch chats during the last Stream Queens Con, I literally just kept putting I love drag in the chat because y'all are amazing. And that's how I feel. Like it's been such a great experience. I've had some of my highest highs working drag shows, but I've also had some of my lowest lows. I've been kicked out of an event that I was stage managing or that I was running because I walked on the stage. And since I'm a cis woman, they just assumed I didn't work there. And security kicked me out of the bar. And Sasha Colby had to walk out of the bar and go, "That's my kid, let her back in." And it was like, okay, work. Like, I'm on the flyer and you're going to kick me out.
Wow.
Like, just stuff like that. I've had queens not trust me to hold their tip bucket or collect their money because I'm a cis woman. I've had people come up to me backstage and ask me if I have a wristband for the meet and greet when I'm the person handing out the wristbands for the meet and greet, which is very fun. It's so fun to have a man walk up to you and go, "Honey, you need a wristband for the meet and greet," and me to go, "I'm the one handing them out, but thank you so much. Have a nice day." That's really fun. But recently I've started working Bitchin', and I'm not saying this because I'm at her house. She's holding me at gunpoint. Help. Don't laugh.
Can someone help Jenny, please?
Please help me. I've started working
Stola.
Bitchin', and none of these experiences have happened at Precinct at all. Like, just as a disclaimer, like Precinct has been absolutely wonderful. That was the first venue I ever went in. And she was like, "This is the stage manager." And they were all like, "Cool work. Welcome. What do you need?" Like, that was the first time. And that was in September of this year. And I've been working drag shows for 4 years. And that was the first venue that was like, period, welcome. Like, you know, so I've had really, really great highs and really, really great things happen. But also I've had like a really, really bad experiences as well, specifically in West Hollywood. So That's my experience in drag.
Thank you for sharing. I want to say that's absolutely disgusting that you have been kicked out of your own show. Like, I know we've
was my
talked about
favorite.
that. It's so
It was so
gross.
great. It was
Like,
very funky fresh. I was freezing. I was like on the sidewalk, like, hey, just standing outside of my own event. Like, it's like cool.
hi.
Oh my god.
I would have
That
been
is not funky nor fresh. Oh
Nope.
my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, you had fresh air, so that's like
very
the most
true.
fresh.
The dressing room was stinky. I was so excited to
Yeah.
go outside for a sec.
And those clubs get really, really hot. So, like, you know, for a second, it's cute to be outside for just a second. But it would have been nice if you were like the one going outside and not being forced outside.
Yeah, being like dragged out by security. I was like, bye everyone. Like,
Yeah,
it was nasty.
that's so upsetting. And I'm sorry that you experienced that.
It makes you stronger though, those experiences. They only
Absolutely.
fuel the fire to like keep going and making people uncomfortable. So I'm grateful for the experience, but I wish it hadn't happened.
Yes. And that's why I think it's really important that we have had we're having these conversations, because this is what it's like to be a woman in drag spaces or queer spaces when we are queer women, and we deserve to be in those spaces. Whether or not we're helping with the event, whether we're in the audience, or whether we are the drag performers or just the performers in general, because there is burlesque that happen in drag shows and other, I'm sure, artists. I haven't been out in the club in years because of Panini, so like, excuse me for not knowing all the words, but this is the experience, and this ties into what I've experienced. I was a title holder for a competition. I was the first woman to win. And it was my first time doing drag. I had entered in a 6-week competition, and I actually won this competition. But the criticism I received was not the same as other people, were not the same as the cisgendered men. I was criticized way harder. I had to deliver way more than other people to fight for my spot there. And even then, even though I was a title holder, I still didn't get offered other things, other performances from other places. I have been invited to shows, but not really offered like a seat at the table. And so that's why I don't do it as much, because it's very hard. It is very discouraging. I'm very thankful that I have drag on Twitch. I didn't even know. Deer found me probably, I started doing drag like the first year I started streaming on Twitch. I've been streaming for almost 3 years. I did it as like a special event when I had like hit a certain amount of followers or something. And then I did another drag event when I hit 1,000 followers, and I was doing a lip sync show, and I was performing live before the copyright. Thank you, YMCA, for coming in. Deer found me singing into a toilet brush, and it saved my life. Honestly, or not saved my life. She's changed my life being on this platform, because I did not know any drag artists on Twitch at all. I didn't know it even existed. And she came in and was like, "You're stunning, you're beautiful." I didn't even know. I was like, who's this partner coming into the stream? Like, whatever, partnered. Sometimes doesn't mean anything. And then like after stream, I looked and I'm like, Deer has like this beautiful big red blow and like blonde hair, big old busty boobs. And I'm just like, I am being recognized by a stunning drag artist, drag queen, like absolutely. So my experience in the club scene has been not great. I've had some amazing opportunities, just like you've said, Jenny, some amazing highs, but also the lowest of the lows. And I still struggle on a weekly basis, sometimes even on a daily basis. Like, should I be still doing drag? Do I deserve a seat? I'm a bisexual woman. I am part of the LGBT. I have done these panels and things like that, but I have gotten told that I shouldn't be doing drag. Drag isn't for women. I've gotten that either online or IRL. Were you going to say something, Jenny? I saw you.
Oh, I was just snapping for you because you
Cool.
are a proud bisexual woman and you're out here and you're like, I deserve a seat at the table. I'm like, yes, Ivy,
Yes.
period.
Absolutely.
She also
Anyone
says period. From behind me.
anyone that wants a seat at the fucking table deserves a seat at this table. As long as they're respectful, I feel like that's, we need to talk about that. So thank you for listening to that. I know I kind of went on a tangent, but I have had a very unique experience. I think I've performed many times, but I have not gotten that seat. I've had to fight. I've not gotten kicked out of stages, but I've not been looked at the same, where people are like, oh, I really liked your number. And I was like, do you know how much it means to me? And they're just like, I don't care anything. Like, I don't know. I've had some not great experiences with that, or like not seeing. But then people are like, you should be performing more. You're a great performer. And I'm like, who's going to book me because I'm a woman? No one wants to book me because I'm a woman. Because I have. You what? Like, why does it have to be down to genitals of if you can do drag or not? It shouldn't matter what you have down there. It matters what you're putting out. Okay, so do we want to talk about gatekeeping more? I know we kind of talked about that. Do you want to say something, Therona?
Well, the first thing, I haven't heard this term in quite a bit of time now, but words are very powerful at gatekeeping. So in my city here, there has been a few drag performers who are AFAB. And the person who ran the show always referred, and I don't know, coined, but like definitely injected into the community that they were not just drag queens, they were bio queens, not drag queens, bio queens, right? And like, I guess like not knowing the community, you just kind of go along for the ride, but then you kind of just realize like that really like sets them apart. Like, and in this case, it's not like this, it's like this, right? So there's drag queens, and then you put the bio queens down here. And now, from what I've seen as well, is not just drag queen, but trans drag queen. Like, you have, like, I don't know why the label has to exist, but for some reason it does. I'm really hoping that bio queen doesn't. Like, I haven't heard it float around in a very long time.
I feel like that's kind of an older term, but yeah.
Outdated, yeah. So there's that. And I mean, like, honestly, the AFAB performers that I've performed with, some of them are just absolutely amazing and don't get the recognition. I would get patrons who would be like visiting the bar being like, wait, I don't get it. Why are they allowed to? Like, they shouldn't be do that. Or competitions were the worst. They shouldn't be allowed in this competition. And I'm like, why? Like, I mean, like, they're putting up a good fight because I'm like struggling over here. I've never won a title here in my city, and AFAB queens have. So I mean,
yeah, I've seen a couple competitions in my local area. I've even judged one, and I remember there was a cisgendered woman performing in drag. They did like, I think Drag Kings and Queens, they were very like, that was pretty while back then. This was like 5 years ago, or coming up on 5 years ago. And they were like amazing, and they got judged way harder than all the other people. Like, I'd say, like, this isn't to discredit anyone's drag. Everyone's drag is valid, but I'd see people just kind of standing there like, meh. And this person's like screaming, jumping from the stage, like doing all these things. And they're like, it's okay. But the person that's just like a hot, skinny, cisgendered man is the one being praised. Like, I've seen that so many times in the community, and I'm sure, Jenny, you know about that as well. If you want to speak on that, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I've been involved in a lot of drag competitions, and I hate to say it again, but I work for her all the time. We have a baby drag competition happening right now called So You Want to Do Drags. And we have like drag kings, we have non-binary people, we have like women that are doing drag, we have cis men that are doing drag. And it's like the most rewarding thing ever, because it's like, we're very supportive of every single person. I've worked with competitions before where I've had to have that conversation with people where they're like, oh, this person should not be allowed to compete because they're a woman. And again, this is in West Hollywood. And I kind of said, like, what do you define drag as? Like, to have, like, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what you define drag as. And they're like, well, that's a man dressing as a woman. And I said, well, to me, drag is, and I know this is another question, Ivy, so if you want to talk about it later, I'm sorry if I'm like jumping the gun.
Go ahead.
Drag to me is anything that is a performance art that challenges any sort of stereotype in society or tackles any sort of like gender norm or plays with gender in any way, shape, or form. That's just me. That's how I like to look at it. So I think that women are the people that should be doing drag, because if someone is telling me, oh, this person shouldn't be doing drag, that's a reason why they should be doing it. Because like the whole thing is like, the whole point is to like comment on that to me. So it's just like, if a ton of people are saying, oh, you don't deserve a seat at the table, that's even more of a reason to me why they do deserve a seat at the table, because you're saying and you're proving them right and you're proving their art right. So it's just really aggravating that people don't share that mindset. But once you have a conversation with them, some people will change. Others just don't understand what it means or don't appreciate it in the same way that drag artists would, or that someone that works around drag constantly does. And I'm assumed to be a bachelorette a lot. So it's really funny when I have those conversations with people in particular. But that's just like my 2 cents on it, is whenever I am encountered with that, I talk about why women are even more justified, especially trans women, because they built the table. I'm not going to have them build a table. Like, I just feel like in this scene in particular, I felt like I spent 4 years building a really beautiful table that's like marble and like great and beautiful. And I'm like, oh my God, I spent my whole life building this table. I'm going to take a bathroom break from building this table. And I come back and a bunch of like men are sitting at it. And I have to scoot up and be like, hi, I built this table. Can I sit down at it? And they're like, well, you don't look like you could build a table. So this table's not for you. And I'm like, but I did. Like, so that's how I feel a lot of the time. It's a weird analogy, but
That was a
I
good
think
one.
it's
I like
beautiful.
that.
Yeah.
Makes a
Thank
lot
you.
of sense.
Yeah, it's just like I built this table myself, and then they said that I look like I can't build a table, so I can't sit at the table. It's like, it's so silly. So that's my 2 cents on it, but
Thank you.
that's just me.
Yeah. Did anyone want to add to that? I do want to talk about terms before I forget, in case I do. I'm saying this so I don't forget. Did anyone else, Red Ivy or Barky, want to touch base on that in any way?
I mean, I just hate the bio queen, faux queen term so much. I mean, if you need to refer to a performer as an AFAB queen, sure, but like, I don't get why you need to know a performer's genitals. Like, there's just no
Are we fucking?
explain.
You don't need to know.
Explain why you need to know that performer's genitals. I really need to know. Like, there's just no reason. So yeah, those terms are just ugh. I'm a drag queen. Thank you.
Red Ivy, did you want to talk about this?
No, I don't really have
Okay.
yeah,
That's totally fine. I wanted to make sure you were included.
thank you.
Yeah, I know when I was performing, some people would call me just like, you're a drag queen, but I was called the bio queen or a faux queen, as in like FAUX. I was never just referred to as a drag queen. And I don't know if y'all have gotten this when you're explaining to people. Like, when I was explaining to people when I first started drag, they're like, so what are you? Are you a woman dressing up as a man, dressing up as a woman? Can you imagine the makeup that would to do for that? Like, do I need to draw on a mustache and then conceal the mustache? Like, what does that even mean? What kind of gymnastics did you have to do for that? And what kind of gymnastics do I have to do that? I feel like that should be a drag look I should do, is like just anyway. But I was told that, or one time I was told, you're better than this. Don't even know what that means or what that entails, but someone told me that I was better than a drag queen. Anyway, so I've definitely been referred to that. I know recently, I don't know if this is a conversation we want to talk about, or I guess before I touch that, the only time I think that you should be referring to people's, like, if they're AFAB, if they're trans or cisgender, is if you're trying to get a, like, what's the correct term? It's drawing blanks. I'm just gonna like explain it. More of a diverse cast. So if you're like, hey, I want a cast that's gonna have a POC woman. I want to make sure that we have a cisgendered woman. I want to make sure we have a trans woman. That's the only time that I feel like should be referring to that, is to try to get those performers in those spots, because they are not being booked. So whenever anyone's talking about drag, you should be seeing if there's POC, if there's trans, if there's cisgender, if there's non-binary, if there's drag kings, because also cisgendered drag kings, cisgendered men that are drag kings, do not get supported as well. So they
Or
need,
trans men either.
or trans men, especially trans men, don't get fucking supported in that.
My roommate who is a trans man did drag as a drag king for a while, and the struggles were real, constantly sidelined.
Yep. Yeah, that's, I feel like, the only time that you should be referring to anyone in that, is when you're trying to book them for something, or making sure, hey, do we have this in here? Like, I know when we have a show, me and Annie are doing a show right after this panel, nice plug-in, but we wanted to make sure that we had more POC in here, because we noticed that we had only had like so much, or we're trying to look for trans. So we use those terms to explain who we're looking for the cast. So that's the only time I feel like you should be referring to that. Does anybody else have anything to say about that or touch base on?
I'm not sure if it's like the same subject or not, but like
Go
with
ahead.
the sideline. So my worst experience that turned into an interestingly good experience was a drag show that was run here by a very older Italian trans woman who was running a show here, and it was a competition, and they legitimately they created a drag queen category and then like an others category. So it was non-binary people, the drag kings performed in like the main part, but if you were like I guess anything but like a cis man or a cis woman doing the cross part, you had to be in the other one, right? And I remember it was interesting. This was like my shining moment. Is I remember this person had come up to me, a beautiful tall woman who identified as a woman, she, her, like complimented me and it's like, oh, I wish I could do this, but I know that they're very like separated on the terms and everything like that, and like I don't think that I'd be really involved. I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, let's get you into drag. Like, because she was a makeup artist as well, and she was like showing interest and like intrigue and stuff. I legitimately onboarded her, gave her a name, Allura Dantosh, got her costume. She performed on stage with me. Best stage buddy that I've ever had. Like, we became like drag sisters, basically. I wasn't a drag mom. Like, we became drag sisters, and I hold on and cherish onto that memory forever.
I just got the chills, Sarana, please. That is so beautiful. I'm really glad that you stepped up and like had that, like, that's how
this was
I
before
started.
my transition too.
Yeah, so that's like that's a big deal. I feel like you're like, listen, we need to get you to do this, and that's how I started. And I think that's really beautiful that you did that, and that probably means the world to them, and that you connected, and I really love that. Yeah. I don't know if this is the right time to have this conversation with this one, but it's been kind of on my mind. But recently I've been informed that I used to refer to myself as AFAB drag queen, just because people weren't sure who I was or what I identified as, which it shouldn't even really matter. But we also still need to support cisgendered women, transgendered women, etc. in the drag thing. So I think it's important to sometimes throw those labels out there because people don't realize to support them. But I've been told recently not to use the term AFAB because that can be harmful to trans women. So I've tried to not use that term myself, to refer to myself anymore as that. And I don't know if anyone else has a feeling about this. I don't know if this is something we should talk about, but this is something that I have stopped using because I heard that it was transphobic. And that's also kind of tying in with things changing for people. Like bio queen can also be potentially transphobic, and same with faux queen. Why do we even need to have those labels to begin with? Why do I have to be an AFAB queen? Sorry, Rona, go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's just segregation. It's like compartmentalizing people and then trying to create an apex within those categories. Why not just have one slate of equal people? Right?
Yeah. Why can't I just say I'm a drag queen?
Yeah. I had a similar experience in prayer, and I think it's kind of eye-opening to think about because it's just what I was told was okay. Coming in, other people were using it, and someone told me, "Oh, that's the term you should use," Yeah. And on one hand, it's if you want to market yourself like that because you want other AFAB queens to find you, I think that's up to the artist to do that. I just think there's not personally I don't really see a reason other than trying to find other AFAB artists or like how you were saying earlier when you're trying to get a very diverse show together or something and you want to know AFAB artists, but I think we just grow and learn and change. Yeah.
I know for me, I tried to also look for those individuals because I know I don't get supported. I feel like I deserve, and I don't feel like I deserve a lot, but I definitely feel like I should be getting way more support in the drag scene than I do. So I tried to not have that experience, my experience, as much as it I'm kind of a bitter Betty about it sometimes. I don't want other people to go through what I've gone through. I don't want people to feel like they're not enough, because I feel that on a daily basis and I see me not getting supported like other people. So I try to go and find those people that are trans women, cisgendered women, or even non-binary individuals that are drag queens, whether if they're if they're non-binary, whether they're AMAB or AFAB or whatever. I try to find those people to give them support, because I'm like, chances are no one else is supporting them. So if I can give them like the support, even just a little bit, I feel like that's going to make a huge difference. And that's something I try to look for. Yeah. I know we have like, Dola, how much longer do I have? I know we were like a little bit late, so I just want to make sure that we have time to talk about the next thing. We should try something positive, since we've kind of been talking about kind of some more negative things. I think it's important to have these conversations, because if we're not going to have it, who is, you know? I wait for Dola to say something. I'm just gonna go. So we're talking about kind of like finding people and connecting with them. What can we do to uplift people in this community, or how to inspire people to be their authentic selves, or to get into drag and not let the hate or social stereotypes or people tell you can't do what you're doing? Barky, did you want to start with that? Or do you want me to come back to you?
What's the question again? Just say it one more time.
How can we uplift people or inspire them? What would you tell somebody if they were like, I'm thinking about doing drag, or if they're like, what is drag? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, I don't know, that's kind of there's a lot of things I feel like I would want to do. I'm really eager about more women, more non-binary people doing drag. Just kind of tackling the norm of cis men dressing as women is like the only way of drag. I would love to help dismantle that as much as I possibly can. So I think there's a lot of different ways to take someone kind of under your wing. It's kind of hard for me to think about, because I'm mostly on Twitch, so I'm just like, I would give them as many resources as I could with streaming. Try to just keep them in the loop with everything that I learn about streaming, rating them, and just, you know, having them be being a part of their community. I would be very eager about it. I think it would be very fun to uplift someone. If anyone wants to be uplifted by me, come let me know. I would love to uplift
come lift me up, Barky, please. Thank you for that. I know sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. You're like, where do I start? You know, especially if you're like kind of a general like thing, versus someone coming to you being like, hi, I want to start drag. You're like, I'm talking to like a grand audience here. So
like, I don't know, I'd go on Discord calls and do makeup with them. Like, I would do anything that they need me to do to feel like they want to get into drag.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of different ways to go, exactly like you're saying. Yeah.
Absolutely. Red Ivy.
I feel like this question is like going to be a little hard, specifically because like I think it's hard for me to try to even uplift people when it comes to drag, because lately when it comes to my drag, I have not been in a really good place with my drag and just doing drag. So like I honestly really can't even, like, if I don't even feel like that confident about myself and me doing drag, it's hard for me to be able to even try to come up with something to uplift someone else, because like I know everything that we're trying to do, or we want to do like a light question, you know, I'm bringing a little bit down.
That's okay.
Like,
Absolutely.
I've had really, because the past, I don't want, okay, honestly, it's like, even like, you know, I know I feel like I've been like, I haven't done drag in like 4 months, but I've been really iffy about my drag for like a year now, especially because from since coming out as trans, because it's almost like I'm almost gatekeeping myself, and like, because I came out as trans, I'm just like, do I like, I honestly think like, do I even deserve to be a drag queen anymore? Because because now coming out like with this, and being more like being true to myself and actually saying like, oh, like I've been trying this entire time I've been doing drag, you should know it. And now that I've come out and revealed that, I'm just like, I'm almost like, it's made me really not like my drag anymore, like at all. Like that's why I stopped doing drag for like 4 months, because I didn't like my drag, because I thought like, this is just like, because I viewed my drag as more just like a natural kind of makeup. I just put on like some eyeliner, some lipstick, and like some I didn't like I never blocked my brows. I always used my real brows and just did it myself and just did them like that. So I got really like in my head about like my own drag. I'm like, this isn't even drag enough more. I'm just putting on a little bit of makeup and just like it's not even real drag. So I've been really gatekeeping myself about this. And so like I really don't know if I could even like give anyone any kind of inspiration because I'm still in my head about it because it's why like I find like today like it's not the drag I usually like. You probably never like my viewers and my stream don't really don't you don't this isn't the kind of drag they see like for once today. I actually blocked my you can't really see because I chose this wig and this has been but I actually blocked. Thank you. I actually blocked my brows for the first time, honestly, since honestly, I haven't blocked my brows since since I first started 6 years ago.
Wow.
So I actually finally I blocked my brows today, and it was very difficult because I haven't done it in a while. But
I shaved mine off because I was done with it.
Honestly, I want to do that just because I don't because I feel like it would make me it would make me I feel like it would make me better at makeup because I'm I'm forced to have to do something I usually don't do. So it was just
shave them off, girl. Shave them off. There's Amazon stencil brows when you're wanting, and they're cheap, $10 for a month's worth. I'm not even kidding you, and they're great. So, yeah.
I really relate to that, Ivy. Sorry, are you finished?
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah. I can't provide inspiration because I'm teaching myself. So
no, I honestly really understand that and relate to that. I think there's something with drag and any kind of performance art where dancing, acting, where you are the art piece technically. I think comes with a lot of self-criticism that's really, really hard to overcome. I just everything you were saying, I totally relate to, and I've been through those kind of periods.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of drag artists, a lot of performers have those kind of moments because you don't get to oh, this is the art, it's on a canvas, critique this. It's no, you're critiquing me, you're critiquing my face. It's very different. Yeah.
No, I think what Red Ivy actually said was actually inspiring because that's kind of what we go through as an artist and the gatekeeping and things like that. Because I'm sure we can all attest that we have gatekeeped ourselves. I know I can. I could go on for about all the things that I'm I'm not enough or whatever. So I think that's also part of the hurdle of doing drag and you have to block your brows, or you don't have to. They're some people are well, you're not doing drag unless you're blocking your brows. You're not doing drag unless you're doing we've all heard that. You're not doing drag if you don't do etc. And drag has nothing to do with if you block your brows, if you're wearing lipstick, if you're wearing blush. It has you identifying that you're doing drag, that you're doing the art and you're creating this art piece. So I think what you're explaining and the experience, it's kind of like writer's block, I think, of having this, even though it's something so small like eyebrows, it's that's what could stop you from doing it. And I think that there is something to take from that this is something you can experience, and that maybe there's ways to go around it. Maybe you'll just shave your eyebrows one day, but also when you do go through a life-changing thing and when you start to find who you are, you're well, is my drag this now? Because we're constantly evolving as people, and so is our art. So I think you did have something actually to add to that. So thank you for that. Therona.
I have a lot because I feel like I share a similar experience. There's a lot of trying to find yourself and all that stuff. I'll give you an example. So I've been talking to this cute boy or whatever, and it was after my stream, not in drag. And then they're oh, I can't, you're still in your drag makeup. And I was well, this is not my drag makeup. I didn't look the way I do now. I looked very toned down in just my makeup that'll take me 30 minutes. And I was just there's I don't know. I wasn't offended, but I was really? And so what am I not, and then I started thinking what am I not doing that's setting my drag apart from my day to day, right? And like I wasn't insulted, but I mean like it was a little bit of like a low hit too. Yeah, so I mean that I can understand like the whole trying to find yourself. I stopped doing drag for like a very long time too as well, when like this last stretch of Stream Queens Con is the most drag I've done this year, to be honest. Like I can probably count on one hand how many times I've done drag this year before Stream Queens Con. So I get that feeling 100%. What I was going to say something else too that was really important. The eyebrows thing, I have mine tattooed. Very easy. Such a godsend. Yeah, I might have to come back on what I was thinking about, but it was so important. I just completely blanked.
Yeah. Absolutely interrupt me. I'm trying to recap too, because I was like, what were you saying? Now I'm on a thing. Yeah, I think it is sometimes hard. And then for me, my face has changed in the last year versus like 2 years ago or 6 months ago. It's constantly changing. Jenny.
I do remember what I wanted to say.
Yes, quick. Go ahead.
So we're talking about offering inspirations. Sometimes, and this is as cliche as this is, sometimes actions speak louder than words, in my opinion. I personally, when somebody's like, how do I do a drag? What do I do? I'm just like, just look, just watch. Like, this is how I do it. You can watch me, take notes. I'm not going to give you a breakdown step by step of like what to do. I personally, when I got into drag, really dove in like head first. Like I learned my own face. I learned makeup. I did ask a professional makeup artist for tips and stuff like that, and I've asked other people, but I didn't take my first step into like, I guess, asking and getting information from people. I just went into it and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. No, this doesn't work. No, okay. Now that I've tried it a bit and I'm in this now, I am a drag performer, not the greatest, very baby queen. Maybe now I'm going to start asking for advice, you know? Like for me, like, I don't know. It's hard to say because like people asking how, like I'm thinking of getting into drag, then like try it out. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I'm not going to spend 10 hours explaining to you the makeup process and techniques and stuff. And then, oh, this isn't for me. Like get into it yourself, see if you like it, and then watch the people that inspire you, take notes, like just let them do their thing and be inspired. And then once you're in it and once your feet are in the ground, then yeah, I'm more than happy to help. I've been there.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. And I think also you're kind of like not setting the way you're like, oh, well, this is how you do it. You're like, I think you should like learn what you want out of it and get that, you know? I think that's kind of what you were saying. Cause you weren't like, I'm not going to walk you through it because all drag makeup is very different. I look different than Barky and Red Ivy and you. Like we all look different. We should not be all painted the same. We should be painted as how we want to be painted.
There is no one way.
There's no one way, exactly. And there's so many different techniques for different things that you want to do. And I think it's just all what you want to do with that. Jenny.
Okay, I have a lot to say, but I'm going to try not to. I would say for me, I have really horrible social anxiety. So when I first started going to drag shows, it made me feel really uncomfortable when people would like stare at me and I would be sat like on the patio instead of like in the restaurant because I was like a woman alone. So therefore I'm going to sit on the patio. It would really discourage me. But now that I've like gotten older and I've worked in this industry for longer, I realize that the more uncomfortable people are with my presence, that means the more correct that I'm doing it. You know, like if people are looking at you, if you're screaming the loudest at a drag show, Harley and I are the loudest bitches in that room every single time. Harley and I are screaming. You can watch the videos from our baby drag competition and you can hear my bitch ass in the corner screaming my mind out for no reason. Just because I want people to feel supported and everybody stares at you, but it doesn't matter. If people are uncomfortable with you being there, then that means that you're doing it right. And something else that I was told recently by this one actually was she was like trying to pick which wig to wear and she asked me my opinion of it. And I never have thought that my opinion is valid in drag because I'm not a drag queen and I'm also a girl. And she looked at me and was like, your opinion is always right because I'm dressing as a woman and you are one. And that's like very powerful. And like that's very like something very small.
Amen.
But like, that's something that I was never told because my opinion has power because I am a woman. And a lot of these like cis men that are dressing as women that want to gatekeep are dressing as me. And I'm sitting here like, oh, my opinion doesn't matter. They're literally dressing up as me on Halloween. Like, what do you mean? Like, and I'm sitting here like, oh, my opinion doesn't matter. Like, blah, blah, blah. And that was the first time someone had ever said that to me. And I was like, oh, shit, you're right. Like, so yeah, you have power if you are a trans woman, if you are a cis woman, if you are any type of person in a drag space, if you are like trans masc or you're trans man and you constantly get misgendered, you're still powerful. It doesn't matter. Other people's opinions of you do not make you like anything less than in that scene. Like, keep going and keep going out, even if it makes people uncomfortable, because that means you're doing it right.
Absolutely.
Imagine like spending hours dressing up like a woman and then being misogynistic.
I can't
How
imagine, because
interesting.
it happens literally
Fascinating.
every day of my life.
How quirky of them. So fun.
So quirky,
Yeah.
bestie.
So quirky, bestie. Let's
So
dress as a
quirky.
woman and then yell at them.
And then say that we're not valid for wanting to do the same thing.
Someone
Not
dressed as a woman
misogyny,
walks
not
up to me
misogyny,
and
but
says,
like-
"You're not valid."
We're not
Not
valid
that
for
women can't be misogynistic.
Tattoo.
That's true.
Very
That's
va-
true. They can. They can,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen that. Like, especially cisgendered women who are in queer spaces. I've had that before, where it's like I've been questioned for being a trans woman doing drag by a cisgendered woman, and I'm like, this is weird. This is a very weird experience. We should be on the same page here.
Yeah.
We're women.
Yeah,
like
honestly.
that's also the thing that people don't understand, that POC trans women created drag. Like, we do drag because they fought for that. So we need to remember where drag came from. We do have to wrap up the panel. But before we do our introductions and things like that, I do want to say my inspiration. Don't stop fighting. I'm going to start crying talking about it. Because I'm telling myself
Keep it
this too.
together, Ivy. You got this. Keep
Um,
it together.
Sometimes you just have to get into drag. I struggle on a weekly basis to get into drag, and sometimes you just have to do it, because that is the way that you're going to find yourself, and you're going to continue to fight, because you're not the only one fighting. There are other people fighting, and you are paving the way. We're doing it together. And so when you're feeling like shit, put on that makeup and make it till you fucking break it, because you do matter. You are seen. It may not be seen yet, but you will be. So continue. Sometimes just getting into drag is to, like, not knowing where to start is just putting that lipstick on, putting that eyeshadow on, going to Walgreens and picking up overpriced makeup that you really shouldn't be buying. Sometimes it takes that. So don't ever stop doing that. And find people, reach out to them and say, and look for those artists that inspire you, and to continue that fight. I also want to say, keep fighting for queer women to be in these spaces, because we absolutely do, because we do not get supported enough. Drag is for everyone, and don't ever stop. Keep our voices. One thing that Jenny did inspire me on when I had this conversation with her was that I will never stop making cis men uncomfortable, and that inspired me.
I did say that.
You did. And you inspired me. When I heard you talk about those things, I was like, you're
Yeah,
exactly who I needed to
'cause
walk into right
I'm
now.
not having it. Like, leave me alone. Like,
We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. Just because you're uncomfortable that I'm doing this or in this space, I have a right to be here. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. We're going to be doing our closing outros. We do have a Femmes and Them shows coming up right after
Perfect
this panel.
segue. Perfect segue.
So we will be doing that. So please come for that. Yeah, Barky, come introduce yourself, or out, the thing, stuff.
Hi, I'm Tabarky Bark. Vape Lady. I play cute games, spooky games. I already said that.
You say it again.
Bark-
Say it again.
I play cute games and spooky games here on Twitch TV. You can find me at 2BarkyBark on Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Fan House. Yeah, drag is for everyone. Woo!
Make sure to follow Barky on all the platforms. All right, Red Ivy.
Again, I'm Red Ivy. And you can find me over here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Red Ivy. And that's Red Ivy with 2 Y's. People always forget the second Y. I have 2 Y's in my name. Yeah, so I'm over Twitch. I don't really use any other of my social media, so just come over to my Twitch. Yeah, and I stream. I'm really only a League of Legends streamer, so it'd be like that. Come on.
Cute. Make sure to go follow Red Ivy, everyone. All right, Therona.
Hi, Throna Shade here. Love to play League of Legends as well, and a big variety of games on my Twitch channel. I'm also on TikTok, Twitter, somewhat YouTube, and Instagram. If you stick around long enough, you might be able to experience some of my tragic meme moments, such as burning down my house, squirting makeup in my eye, etc., etc. So make sure you tune in for that, because you just might get lucky. Maybe I will actually burn my house next year. Anyway, thank you.
Everyone go follow Therona, please. All right, Jenny.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny Raider on Twitch. I do not stream, but I am in everyone's chats constantly. I'm chained to the table in the basement in Deer's stream with Doladar. So yeah, you can
Send
find me
help to
there. I'm
Jenny.
also picking up tips at Bitchin' every single month, so I'm on that stream. My Instagram and Twitter are at Jenniphora. And really quick, just like I want to shout out Doladar really quick, because that's like another really powerful woman in the drag scene that does not get enough respect or support. And she's killing this convention. So like, period. Miss
Killing.
Kitty. Period.
I love you.
That's it. Go
Killing
follow
this
Doladar. Don't
convention.
follow me. Period.
Yeah, if we wouldn't have this convention without Dola and a bunch of other people, but like I messaged Dola last night in a crisis. I was like, Dola, I can't figure this out. She's like, I can't help you right now. I'm like, it's okay, I figured it out, Dola. I love you. Dola deserves all the love, okay? Anyway, please go love Dola. Tell her that you love her in the chat, because we wouldn't have this beautiful convention or this safe community that she has helped created without her. So anyway.
Yay, Dola.
Yay, Dola. I'm in for prayers, e-girl drag queen. You can find me on Twitch. I stream Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays around 7 o'clock. We do drag on Sundays. If you have any questions about drag or about me, feel free to ask. I love getting to know people, and I love people asking about me because I think it's important. But you can follow me on all the socials, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, blah, blah. If you hear alerts going off, I'm so sorry. I couldn't figure out how to turn that off. Thought I figured it out. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Women in the drag scene. This panel is very near and dear to all of us, so thank you for watching. Please go follow all of us. Please stay and enjoy the rest of the convention. Anyway, Dola, wave us out.
We love you, Dola.
Love you, Dola.
Bye.
Bye.